Hi, I'm Katie, and this is.
Hello, I'm Luai.
Okay, so will you introduce yourself and give a little bit more about your background?
All right, I'm Luai Tarchi. I am studying economics here at Texas A&M University. I'm an undergrad with plans to go to the graduate student program. I grew up in Saudi Arabia. I lived there for most of my life as a child. I did come here for 3 years for like middle school, but then I went back and completed my high school education there. Most of my family is from there, and I'm heavily influenced from living there.
Thank you. Okay, the first question is what languages do you speak fluently, and could you speak a little bit of the language for the interview?
Yeah, I speak Arabic pretty fluently, although it depends on who's speaking it because there's different dialects and accents. كنت بقول لك تشرفت بك وأتمنى لك سنة سعيدة لك, which means like I'm honored to have met you today. I'm honored to have met you, and I wish you a pleasant year. So that's what it says.
That's so nice. Okay. How do people in Saudi Arabia typically get their news? TV, online platforms, or social media, and which sources are trusted the most?
If we're talking about back then, it was mostly the news and radio, and it was mostly given out by government entities. But nowadays, most of it is through news channels with a lot of skepticism. A lot of it does come from social media, though.
Okay.
And that's most reliable.
What newspapers and TV radio channels did you read or watch in your country of origin?
We had 3 main news channels. We had Al Jazeera, we had Sky News, and Fox News. Al Jazeera was the most trusted. Sky News was a bit biasy. Fox News was to see who hates us.
Dang. So why did you choose these news outlets and not others? I feel like you kind of already answered that.
Yeah. I can continue, but yeah. Al Jazeera it's like a Middle Eastern funded news platform. They have a lot of reporters. They're pretty blatant with what they share. Sky News had a lot more of like government censorship type of stuff, and Fox News was legitimately like what's the U.S. thoughts on us.
So, kind of a follow-up question for Fox News: were you watching it with? Was it American reporters or Saudi reporters?
American reporters.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all in English.
Oh, okay. So, what is currently the most important news story in Saudi?
The most important one is going to be is Saudi Arabia going to normalize ties with Israel? That has a lot of debate and a lot of criticisms being thrown around at the moment. That's basically it.
Are Saudi Arabia and Israel allies?
Most Arab nations do not have close ties with Israel, and that has to do with how us Arabs believe we should stick up for other Arabs, and Israel has a lot of times broken promises. They have attacked us, our brothers, and I stand with the royal family. I do not think we should normalize ties unless there's a 2-state solution. So that's going to be peaceful.
Yeah. Do you feel that the U.S. portrays Saudi Arabia fairly on the news?
I do not. I personally think the U.S. is very hypocritical when it comes to their views of the Middle East, where it's double standards. So if the Middle East does it, the U.S. can get away with it, and vice versa. Not vice versa, but whatever Saudi Arabia does, they will be criticized for it. But if the U.S. does it, they'll just be given a green flag.
You should look up Bicultural.
Kind of what we learned in the classroom right now about ethnocentrism, but American centrism.
Yeah.
How does the news coverage in Saudi Arabia differ from what you see at the U.S.?
A lot of our news is filtered. That's why we do have social media. Mm-hmm. It does bypass a lot of those filters. Saudi Arabia is an absolute monarchy. The kings do want to maintain control, so they want to push an agenda. But I do think, even if agenda is pushed, people are smart enough to just dismiss it and look at the facts.
Look, this may look targeted, but Jake
Sorry, it's a little bit loud in the background. I can try and cut that out.
I just read this yesterday.
You can also try to read it.
Are there any topics in Saudi media that are restricted or handled differently due to the cultural or government influence?
Yeah, religion is a very big thing that's restricted. Some practices of Islam or like some lessons are restricted to try to keep it to the core of Islam that Saudi Arabia wants to portray and teach. Of course, a lot of stuff about the royal family is also censored. We're not allowed to talk about them very much. And if people do talk about it, it's on the down low. It's nothing public.
You're not allowed to like talk bad about them or anything? Is that the main thing?
Yeah, we
or-
can't criticize them. Yeah,
Okay.
very limited.
So I'm going to combine these two questions into one. What do you like about the mass media? And what do you dislike about the mass media in your country of origin?
What do I like and what I dislike? I'm trying to think. Mass media, like we're talking about like reporters and all of that, right?
Yes. Like the news on the phone.
I would say I do like it's more like a personal thing, or like a lot of people are on the streets. They kind of do like try to interview, try to interact with the people. And I guess the part that I don't like is the fact that it is very restricted, where they will censor out or they will cut out things that are politically driven or charged in the conversation.
Do you follow the news from Saudi Arabia while you're here? And how does that help you stay connected to your culture and identity while living in the US?
I do follow the news. I do follow a lot of like the Vision 2030 that's going on right now is plan to revitalize the Saudi economy, and I'm studying economics, so I study a lot of that. I look at purchase agreements, the PIF, the Public Investment Fund that Saudi Arabia is doing, and what they're purchasing and how they're playing out their cards. How does it influence my culture? I do look at how we receive other nation leaders, and that kind of like makes me want to reflect the good side of my country, try to like be a good ambassador to them.
So what is one of the biggest misconceptions, or you could even say more, but people in the U.S. have about your country of origin?
The biggest misconception I would say is that we're all rich. A lot of Saudis are rich. And to that I can say not all. I'm middle class. Actually, I'm not middle class. I'm upper class there. But I've seen a lot of families over there where they are kind of living paycheck to paycheck, but they do have a lot of those social services. Saudi Arabia does have it's more of like a socialist country where they do help out their citizens. So there's that misconception. We're all rich. That we all have Lamborghinis, we're living in castles. I know we're just living, trying to live peacefully. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
أتمنى لكم بسنة سعيدة, which means I wish you guys all a pleasant year.
Thank you.
Yeah.